I honestly think that this is literally some of the dopest content that can be created. These types of crossovers like this is I like it when there's like some kind of weird mixture like this. One of the biggest challenges as an artist is trying to figure out how in the world you can mix weird IPs together. Personally, DC and Sonic the Hedgehog is probably one of the most obscure combos ever. I think Ian Flynn said something about that. And I think that was what I think he said something like in an interview about why he did this in the first place. Oh, I think they approached him about it. Let me just check real quick. I guess the biggest thing was just deciding on which iterations of the characters would be showing up, but DC and Sega weighed in that from the very get-go, so they did most of the heavy lifting there. Beyond that, bruh. Beyond that, it's a matter of treating both worlds and casts with love and respect. If you do that, everything else falls into place. What's the hardest part of making these two mythologies feel cohesive? I'm not gonna lie, I would think this is really difficult. I mean, you see these covers, bro. Well, we got Sonic as Flash, Knuckles as Superman, Amy as Wonder Woman, Silver as Green Lantern, Shadow as Batman, and Tails as Cyborg, which I think was a really great choice, honestly. In the first issue, you get the most important thing out of the way first, which is Sonic trying to race the Flash, which I get it. Everybody wants to see that. Did you feel that that was something that needed to happen right away, or did you consider making the readers wait? No. You know, that's when people are coming for the first thing. It's the two iconic speedsters. You've got to give the people what they want. And once you get that out of the way, then you can just have fun with the entire premise. I think that's important. I ain't gonna even lie. That's why we always got to start with a fight scene, because if we don't give everybody a fight scene first, then people just kind of like they turn the lights out. Personally, that's what I feel like. You start off slow and you're trying to build up, man, people just go to sleep, you know. And that's just it, you know. It's sad, but he's right here. You know, each of Sonic's friends has a little bit of bonding moment with a member of the Justice League, but the most touching one was Batman and Shadow, funnily enough. As usual with Batman, it's trauma bonding. Is Batman and Shadow your favorite Sonic DC pairing? I don't know, but each one of them has got something fun to them. And it's like, oh, could we just get like a whole mini series of any one of these pairings, please? But the Shadow and Batman scene was one of the first ones that came to mind when we presented the premise. And it's like, yeah, I see how that's going to fit together very nicely. I mean, if you read the comic, I got it up. Let me see. This is probably one of the dopest scenes. Let's be honest. This was a cold scene, bro. This was literally cold. They did a great job of introducing them with this panel. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what Shadow is hitting my man's with, but he's blasting. I don't know if Shadow's doing this. If he's blasting this green through him, I don't know what. If Shadow's doing that or not, I'm not sure. But I just think it's a dope scene. They didn't really stay in that long either. They came in like, they came in and came out, bro. Look, wait. They brought Buddy down and then they left the scene pretty much immediately. They just said, oh, he's down, bro. Hey, that's a cold entrance and a cold exit. And that panel is cold too. I'm not gonna even lie. I just, man, some of these scenes, like these, choosing like how to, like there's so much you show with just like this particular picture. There's so much you can get from that. Can you talk a little bit about working with Bryce Thomas? His art captures the Sonic world perfectly, and I feel his Justice League draws inspiration from the animated series. Did you talk with him about which version of the League you wanted him to evoke the most? If I worked with Adam for a long time, years and years now, and we're actually collaborating on an original project, which we're hoping to get out later this year. So when this came to me, I told DC, If you need someone who's going to be able to nail Sonic model and DC models, you need Adam. I'm gonna be honest with you. Adam Bryce Thomas is a top tier artist. I love pretty much anything and everything that he puts out. This dude is a legendary comic book artist. His work, you can almost immediately pick it up as soon as you see it. If you see a comic, a Sonic comic, you look at the cover, you immediately know it's him. I mean, you can immediately look at, like, anytime you see, where is it? This one? You can always tell when Adam is on the mic, bro. I'm telling you, I probably believe that's like he's like the favorite. He's literally my favorite. Like, I love anything that anytime, look at this, bro. Anytime you see this, you can immediately pick it up. I don't know if he's just like really good with like his contrast, but he always does like these darker shadows, you know, and his concepts are always dope. Look at that, bro. I don't know if he's behind the concept as well, I'm assuming, but like having like Sonic and Knuckles in metal like this, that's a dope cover, bro. Look at my man's work. I mean, he has like he's just versatile. It's my newest entry in the retelling of The Legend of Zelda is available. So he do like Legend of Zelda stuff too. He puts in work, man. When it comes down to his work, I'm not gonna lie. I think that I find his work just to be probably like top tier. I don't know. At least when it comes to like Sonic art. And I'm like, bro, like I do a lot of Sonic art myself, obviously, but I mean, a lot of times I see like tons of Sonic art on like IG, and like there's so many people drawing Sonic the Hedgehog, but personally, I just think that his covers and his Sonic content is probably some of the best to me. You know, just straight up, man. Like, you just gotta look at this, bro. I mean, I don't know if it's just like how straight his lines are or what, but this dude, man, he really knows what he's doing, man. All of this stuff is like very symmetrical. You can tell he takes time, like all the like artifacts here, even though like his this picture here, I feel like I see like it's all like blended in and faded really well where it needs to be, you know. And no surprise that if he is also doing the DC stuff, like you look at how straight this stuff is, right? His line work, how good it is, right? Bro, you turn around and you come back and you look at this. Hold up. Look at his panels here, bro. I mean, this is 100%. If all of this is done by him, I mean, look at his flash, bro. This is a dope panel. This is a very, very visually pleasing panel, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I mean, I think there's a lot you can learn by like looking at comics. And before I got into animation, that's what I think a lot of people don't know. Like, I used to do comics before I got into animation, and I think that comics is a great segue into animation if you haven't already started animating. Like, some people jump straight into animation. Personally, for me, you jump into comic, like if you do comics before animation, you get like, how do you put it? Like you're forced to draw these characters in different positions and different perspectives, right? Like, you kind of got like that. There's a diagonal perspective, right? Like this, right? You know, like the characters are at like the camera's not like the camera's catacorner, right? And you want to be able to do that, right? The camera's like not to the side of the characters, so right? It's not like this. It's like this, right? And that's training, you know? So, I mean, I think once you get used to doing this, you could pretty much animate anything personally. Look at this, same thing here. Like, that's advanced, you know, that perspective that we're in the front of them like that. I think it's good to look at this kind of stuff and figure out like what you want to do or what you appreciate. Because there's a reason why his stuff looks so good. I personally think it has a lot to do with the contrast between thick black lines and very gradual like shadows. In some cases, some of the shadows are like very faded. Like this Sonic, these are not just like hard lined shadows, right? This is kind of like almost painted in a little bit, blended in, right? Which I think, while it's hard here, like you can see like the shadows are harder here in some places. It's very soft and blended in like here, 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 you know. And I just think it makes it like stick out really, really well with those like very, very, very defined black lines. It's a really, really good style. And that contrast, I think, is important when you have like these backgrounds who you're not going to have any lines. Like the line work on the backgrounds, there's line work on the rocks, right? And also like the mountains, right? But like the trees, within the trees, it's more of just shadows, right? It's more like we're going to define the depth of the trees with color. And I think that that's like really, 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 it does really well for trying to tell you where everything is. And then like what's important is defined with black lines, right? But everything doesn't have a black line, right? Things that need to be kind of blended don't necessarily have a black line. Like these arcs off of Flash don't have a black line around them, which would really like cause confusion, right? So it's good to just have those as like highlighted, lit. You know what I'm saying? Like this is just me going over like what I think really makes this type of art stand out. Like so like perspective, contrast, and also like choice. Like that, like the I swear, like my phone and stuff is just like constantly going off. It's killing me, bro. But like perspective, obviously, and then like there's certain choices. Even with like Sonic, I get it. Like I think I could talk about this for a while too. Like even when drawing Sonic the Hedgehog, I obviously don't always follow this, but I do think that it does look good when you just focus on the three quill kind of silhouette of Sonic, instead of being like kind of like what I do, like where I give him a neck and then I'm like trying to play around with all six of them or whatever. Like just focus on this, right? These three is really all you really need to make cool Sonic art, in my opinion. I think anytime you get away from this, it starts looking clunky, junky, weird. You're starting to figure out where to place all the wheels. And then like if you give him more than three really big ones, people are going to like, well, how many does he have? Well, he's like, well, he has 6 in the back of his head in total. The one on the top, and then there's like 2 and 2, right? So it's like 1. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. It's my math is I'm tripping. 2, 2, and 2. It's like 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, and then there's the 2 on the sides in 2 rows, right? To make 6. Right? Another thing too I think is important is like, bro, what are these notifications, bro? I'm going crazy. Ear size. Like Sonic having like 2 pointy ears is important to like making him look the way he looks. I get why people appreciate this design. This is more closer to what we know of like modern Sonic, So I get it. And I think it's a fantastic choice. It might be peak choice when it comes to like Sonic design. And I think he's always going to look good. If you see anytime Adam draws Sonic, it always looks good. And I think that's because he understands that, um these like legs not having necessarily like a defined, like, you don't have to. One thing I noticed with like modern Sonic period, or just people that like what's appreciated mostly, I guess, in the fandom is like people don't really like if Sonic has like where you can see where his knee is, like his joint is, right? If you separate like the whatever you call it, the humerus or whatever it is from like the lower leg, if people can see that, that immediately changes like what people are accustomed to, because people are really accustomed to like, hold up, I can't even think, I don't even know if I have pulled over. Let me see if I can move it over. People are accustomed to this, right? To not necessarily being able to see. I don't even know, like, can you guys even see my mouse? Okay, yeah, you can. People are accustomed to this, right? You can bend Sonic's leg, but it stretches and shrinks and stuff like that pretty much all the time. And if you don't do that, you kind of get away from core design, right? So like, I get it. This is peak, you know. Obviously I get it. Like with me, I always put like a knee joint in there, and I'm like separating top, lower, and top, and I think that creates an issue. But yeah, but this is a really dope comic, man. I really think that like if people haven't read this, like I'm starting on issue 2. I don't speed through these actually. Like I really try to take the time to like, because like when I read comics, I don't read comics and then just read to go on to the next issue. A lot of times I'm looking at like panels. I'm like trying to figure out like what art decisions they're doing. What are they trying to tell me? What are they relaying to me? Perspectives, like what are they trying to tell me with this panel? Like what all is being seen, you know? Like and I do feel like just so far from reading like this first issue, bro, if I get, oh my God, bro, I'm going to have to go on airplane mode. Let me just do this. I can't take it anymore. It's killing me, bro. I do feel like just from this first comic, they 100% gave everybody respect. You feel like the Sonic characters are just as important as the DC characters. And I think that Ian Flynn said that in this interview. It says, there are a few pictures at the very beginning because who do you have that's going to be big enough of a threat for both Team Sonic and Justice League at the same time? I put those pictures in, and DC and Sega reviewed them, and they settled for on Darkseid. And it's like, all right, let's go. I ain't gonna lie, Darkseid's a fantastic choice, right? If not Darkseid, who do you think was gonna be the central villain? Brainiac. And if we started Legion of Doom, it would have been so many characters and too much. Yeah, this is a good amount of characters, man. This is a great amount. It's a lot already to work with right here. To me personally, if I had to think about this, I was like, okay, well, what would I do? I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like this is more than enough characters. I'd be like, bro, I forgot about this one guy over here, or I forgot about this one. It's so easy to forget about a character, if you just do too many. So, if DC X Sonic was successful, who would you like to see in a potential sequel? From each property's respective universes. It's been a couple, but it answers everybody. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, initial Roscoe's kid. Okay, it's really cool, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I saw this was coming out like some time back. I was tripping about it. I was like, okay, man, they're gonna try to do like a DC Sonic crossover. There's like a super sharp contrast between these characters, which is really why it works so well. And I'm glad that these characters are being pulled in to the same world so you can kind of see like what the fans of each say. And I'm not gonna lie, DC is great. I mean, Sonic should be, to Sonic fans, obviously Sonic is like super appreciated compared to like just the way people have appreciated like DC characters. So you need to put them out there in the same way. I feel like we just, this is finally like an opportunity to be able to see this. And I see that this is coming right here. I can't wait to get in there. I 100% got to check out this. People really love Shadow. Look how they like changed the color of his stripes. That's like, I haven't even got to that yet. That's why I just kind of like squeeze past this because I'm like, okay, I don't really want to put that out there yet. I mean, I don't really want to like look at it until I get there. You know, bruh, what's the deal? I could have swore somewhere in here he did say, Ian Flynn did say that essentially that it was a creative challenge for him to what was first Justice League, the greatest villain in the entire side. He basically said that it was a creative challenge for him to approach trying to bring these two universes together, which I would say 100%. I like that. I think you need to be able to see why they can be together. That's the whole thing. Most people would not want to see these characters together. All right. The DC X Sonic comic is worrying. I might react to that. Like, what did he say? Did he spoil this? This says DC X Sonic the Hedgehog spoilers. This was 3 months ago. I'm not going to even watch this. I'm not going to even listen to this. I don't want... See, this is why let me just finish the comic first. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah. Either way, I'm on the second issue from the 5 issues that came out last year. I haven't gotten to the one that was just like released a couple days ago. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to go ahead. I'm gonna try to go ahead and get through to the second one and finish that today. In the meantime, we'll say that I was satisfied with this. In summary, the first series just feels like they just introduced everybody. So if you just want to see, if you haven't even read this yet, which I think I'm late to the party. If you haven't read this yet, essentially you want to get a good introduction to like what's happening and who's all there and, you know, what's going to be like the whole start of it all. It's all defined in this comic and it's done really well already. I'm already like, okay, I started to just go through all of it and go all the way through the end of into the next series, like into the Metal Legion one. But anyways, another video out soon. I'll see you guys later. Peace.